This is crazy! April 16, 2026, Anthropic releases its biggest AI upgrade, Opus 4.7. April 23, 2026, OpenAI releases their own most powerful AI, GPT-5.5. Just 7 days apart, both companies claiming to be the best AI available right now. They cannot both be right. And the benchmark data shows something more useful than a single winner. On multi-file software engineering, Opus 4.7 wins by 5.7 points. On web research, GPT 5.5 wins by 10 points. On agentic tool invocation, Opus wins by 9.2 points. And on terminal tasks, GPT wins by 13 points. So which one really is the best AI model so far, and which one suits you the best? Well, in the next 7 minutes, you will see every head-to-head benchmark comparison, the cost reality that changes the calculation for API users, and a strong verdict for 5 types of professional work, giving us a very clear picture of which actually is the best available AI so far.
The models in context. Opus 4.7, SWE Bench Verified 87.6%, GPQA Diamond 94.2%, Finance Agent Benchmark 64.4%, Vision support at 3.75 megapixels, more than 3 times the resolution of Opus 4.6. Price, $5 input and $25 output per million tokens. New tokenizer adds up to 35% more tokens for the same input compared to Opus 4.6. Full API access available across all major cloud platforms from day one. GPT 5.5, first full pre-training run since GPT 4.5, not an incremental post-training update. Intelligence Index score of 60 took the top position on artificial analysis, breaking a 3-way tie. Price, $5 input and $30 output per million tokens for standard. GPT 5.5 Pro, $30 input and $180 output. OpenAI claims 40% fewer output tokens on Codex tasks compared to GPT 5.4, which partially offsets the higher output rate. API not yet live as of April 26, 2026. At the same input price but different output rates, the real cost comparison depends heavily on task-specific token consumption, not the sticker prices alone.
And now the head-to-head benchmark comparison. Coding, SWE Bench Pro. Real-world multi-file software engineering, the hardest and most practically relevant coding benchmark. Opus 4.7, 64.3%. GPT 5.5, 58.6%. Opus 4.7 wins by 5.7 points. SWE Bench Verified, the broader coding benchmark, covering 2,294 real GitHub issues. Opus 4.7, 87.6%. Memorization screens were applied, and Anthropic states the margin holds after excluding flagged items. Real production signals beyond benchmarks. Cursor confirmed the 58 to 70% improvement on Cursor Bench from real developer tasks in their environment. Rakuten reported 3 times more production tasks resolved. CodeRabbit reported over 10% improvement in recall on complex pull requests. These are not lab results, they are live production measurements from teams running real software at scale. So, verdict on coding? Opus 4.7 wins clearly, especially on the hardest multi-file tasks, where the gap is most meaningful for professional developers building production systems. Next on head-to-head is computer use and terminal. 2 separate benchmarks in this category, and they tell different stories. OS World Verified, autonomous computer operation, clicking, typing, navigating a desktop environment. GPT 5.5, 78.7%. Opus 4.7, 78.0%. A 0.7% gap. These models are functionally identical on general computer use. Terminal Bench 2.0, terminal-based autonomous task execution, command line navigation, script running, system-level operations. GPT 5.5, 82.7%. Opus 4.7, 69.4%. GPT 5.5 wins by 13.3 points. This is the largest single category gap in either direction across the entire comparison. It is consistent, significant, and has direct implications for how you should think about agent deployments that involve terminal access. So, computer use verdict? Tied on general computer operation. GPT 5.5 wins decisively on terminal-based work. Next head-to-head is web research.
BrowseComp, multi-step web research, browsing multiple pages, synthesizing across sources, reasoning about information gathered across a session. GPT-5.5, 89.3%. Opus 4.7, 79.3%. GPT 5.5 wins by 10 points. This is not a borderline result, and it is not contested. Anthropic's own migration guide for Opus 4.7 acknowledges that tool usage at lower effort levels is reduced by default on the new model, and that for agentic search workloads, the BrowseComp regression compared to Opus 4.6 is visible in real workloads, not just synthetic tests. Opus 4.7 actually regressed on this benchmark compared to its predecessor. Gemini 3.1 Pro sits at 85.9% on BrowseComp, also above Opus 4.7. If your agent pipeline does significant web research, both GPT 5.5 and Gemini 3.1 Pro outperform the current Opus model on this specific task. Web research verdict? GPT 5.5 wins clearly. This is the category where the case for GPT 5.5 is strongest. And final on head-to-head, tool invocation and reasoning. MCP Atlas, tool invocation benchmark measuring performance on agentic AI scenarios, automated workflows, coding agents, and multi-step reasoning tasks. Opus 4.7 leads GPT 5.5 by 9.2 points. This is the benchmark most directly relevant to anyone building agentic workflows that rely on precise tool calling. The gap here is second only to Terminal Bench in magnitude, running in the opposite direction. GPQA Diamond, scientific and graduate level reasoning. Opus 4.7, 94.2%. Finance Agent benchmark, Opus 4.7 at 64.4%. State-of-the-art at release across all models publicly available. Long context reasoning measured by MRCR v2. GPT 5.5 jumped from 36.6% to 74.4%. This doubled in a single model generation. For tasks that require reasoning over very long documents or multi-document retrieval at scale, GPT 5.5's improvement here is genuine and substantial. So, the tool invocation verdict? Opus 4.7 wins on tool use precision. GPT 5.5 wins on long context multi-document reasoning.
But before our final 5-category verdict, the cost picture needs honest treatment. Opus 4.7, $5 input and $25 output per million tokens. Same sticker as Opus 4.6, but the new tokenizer adds up to 35% more tokens for the same content. Your effective cost per task has gone up, even though the posted rate has not changed. Run your actual prompts through the token counter before budgeting migrations. GPT 5.5 standard, $5 input and $30 output per million tokens. GPT 5.5 Pro, $30 input and $180 output. OpenAI's claim of 40% fewer output tokens on Codex tasks is significant if it holds for your workload. It partially or fully offsets the higher output rate. Measure this on your actual tasks rather than accepting the headline. One practical consideration as of right now, Opus 4.7 is fully live across the Claude API, Amazon Bedrock, Google Cloud Vertex AI, and Microsoft Foundry. GPT 5.5 API access is listed as coming soon. If you are shipping in the next 2 to 4 weeks and need production API access, only one of these models is available. And now, the 5-category verdict. Professional software engineering, multi-file, complex code bases, production-grade code generation and debugging, Opus 4.7. The 5.7-point SWE Bench Pro gap and the 9.2-point MCP Atlas Tool Invocation Advantage both point the same direction, confirmed by multiple independent production environments. Terminal and command line automation, autonomous script execution, system-level operations, terminal-based agent workflows, GPT 5.5. The 13-point terminal bench gap is the clearest result in this entire comparison and should drive this decision without hesitation. Web research and multi-step browsing agents, GPT 5.5. The 10-point BrowseComp gap is real, consistent, and acknowledged in Anthropic's own documentation as a known regression in Opus 4.7 relative to Opus 4.6. Financial reasoning, scientific analysis, and knowledge work requiring deep reasoning, Opus 4.7. State-of-the-art on Finance Agent Benchmark, leads on GPQA Diamond, verifies its own outputs in complex tasks in ways not seen in previous Claude models. Anyone who needs full API access right now to build production applications, Opus 4.7. No contest on availability at the current date. The broader market context is worth one sentence. Anthropic currently holds 32% of the enterprise LLM API market versus OpenAI's 25%. GPT-5.5 is OpenAI's attempt to reverse that trend. Whether it succeeds will be visible in Q3 enterprise adoption data, not in the launch week coverage. So, to sum it up, this is not a close race where one model slightly edges the other across the board. These are two models optimized for genuinely different types of work. The right choice depends entirely on which category your work lives in. And both individual deep dive videos, Opus 4.7 and GPT 5.5 separately, are going live on this channel. Subscribe and watch whichever model is most relevant to your workflow next.